2001 BMW M3, and I've recently installed a Samsonas short shifter, and this will be a review of what it's like on the street. Okay, this Samsonas short shifter review, part 1, around town. What's it like? Some people say you can't daily drive with a shifter like this. Well, I would disagree. I think it works very well as a daily driver. And it's great fun. If you enjoy driving your stick shift, then I can guarantee you're going to enjoy it way more if you have a shifter like this. There's a number of different ones on the market. From my research, the most expensive MacDaddy is the CAE shifter, and that does look fantastic. This is, I think, probably the second choice, but it is substantially cheaper. For me, it was almost half the price of the CAE shifter I wanted. But it is fantastic. I just love it. Even around town. It's really nice, it's really fun, it's really engaging. The shifts are positive. Yep, it does have a couple of drawbacks for sure, so we'll talk about those. These gearboxes are really notchy when they're cold, and that's exacerbated with this shifter. So I can imagine winters in England, for example, would be really hard when the car's cold. Once it's warmed up, it's fine. But that's just something to be aware of. The notchiness is worse with this shifter when it's cold. What else? There's a lot of noise and vibration. Not as much as I thought there would be. But certainly with first and second gear, reverse, at slower speeds, it does make quite a bit of noise. So you can hear that. So that's just some noise and vibration. When you put into third, a lot quieter, you don't notice as much. So I think it's just the gate spring pressing on the gearbox, that pressure coming through, which is causing the vibration and noise. Certainly at higher speeds the vibration gets quite pronounced, so around 6,000 RPM this shift will really start to rattle, and I believe that's due to the pivot bushing of the shifter to the base. It's quite loose. The tolerances are way higher than the tolerances aren't as high as I thought they would have been, right? So that pin is held in by circlips, and it's quite loose. You can move it with your hands, you can even wiggle it a little bit, and to me that's just not ideal, and it allows the shifter to rattle and vibrate. What else isn't cool? It does warm up, right? Like the car's warm now. We're at 100 degrees engine oil temperature, and by the time the car does warm up, the shifter gets a little bit warm to touch. Not hot, but just warm. I don't have any issue with that myself, but it's just something to be aware of. With this particular shifter, the Samsonas, reverse is quite hard to get into, and I'm not 100% sure why. It might be the rubber boot pushing up against the side. I have looked at it and cut it back a little bit. It's a little bit better. but it's still hard. So for me it's not a problem, but if my wife drives the car, it can be a little bit tricky for her to get it into reverse. I'm not a fan of her driving this car anyway, so not really an issue. And that's it for any sort of issues. Do they bother me? Not really. The biggest issues for me are the third to second shift. I find that really hard to do in anger at speed. All the other shifts are good. So there's a couple of ways I've been trying and practicing that shift. So one is to just grunt it across, like so. And it seems to work alright. I do just have to remember that I need a lot of force to do that. And the other way is to try and finesse it across. So I just put a bit of pressure on it as I bring it out of gear. Both work. I just love those first to second shifts. You can just bang gears and not worry about hitting reverse. This has reverse lockout, so there's no way you can hit reverse. And I just love that, whereas before I'd often have a bit of a problem with it. You hear people talking about it, these sorts of shifters feeling like a bolt action and really mechanical, and that is what they feel like. You know, they're noisy. Each shift is quite noisy. It's very positive. It's very mechanical. I just love it. It's just so good. So I would highly recommend a shifter such as this for anyone who enjoys driving a stick shift. Greatly enhances the experience, and at the end of the day that's what it's all about, the experience. And this shifter just makes me smile every time I shift gear. Highly recommended.